Recording is on.
Hello everybody and welcome to today's tea time training. Today we have Kennedy with the topic New Collabora on the Mac. Also just a reminder, as you've just heard, that the session is being recorded but will be available on our YouTube channel. So over to you, Kennedy.
Hello, so I hope that you can hear me, and I'm happy to present something that I've been working on the last nearly a year, I think, which is the new Collabora Office on macOS. And I will be talking mostly about how it is working internally, so like what are the source file about, and conceptually how does it work. But please do ask questions if you have any directly during the presentation, and also I will show a small demo at the end, hopefully. But this thing is presented directly from the Collabora Office on Mac as well. So I hope it goes fine. So the idea behind this was to do the same thing as was already done for Android and iOS app. So that means that we would run the col.WSD directly on the hardware and present the tiles that we have from the rendered by the col.WSD in a web view that is not shown in the browser but directly in the app. So for that, for macOS, we had to create a small app that offers this web view, and then of course connect the JavaScript that runs in the web view with the internals that run on the real hardware here behind the scenes. And in addition to that, add some platform-specific bits that provide functionality that is hard to do with the web view itself. For example, the macOS menu, because on macOS the user experience is normally that you have like whatever content of the window as the window itself. It doesn't have the menu, but the menu is at the top, and always the app that is at your focus like changes the menu accordingly, and that is the normal behavior, and we need to be the same here. Then of course clipboard handling, printing, and all these things that make Office app usable. So from the coding point of view, I wanted to use the NS document framework, which is API that allows you to work with something that you consider a document. I will talk about this later in the slide a bit more, not much more, but a bit more. Then I wanted to have as much as possible implemented in Swift, because Swift is the programming language that is the main one for the Mac development, with the hope that as soon as the work is now available in the form of source code to other people, that they can contribute easily when they are Mac hackers. Small part of that has to be in Objective-C. It is for the parts where we need to interact with the C++, because binding Swift directly to C++ is not possible. There always has to be a small layer of Objective-C that makes this possible. And the build system for this work is part of the Xcode, so you can easily hack it from the Xcode. You just open a project and you have everything you need there, minus the LibreOffice core or Collabora Office Classic core that is using for the LibreOffice Kit functionality. So the NS document itself is a framework that is for handling something that we can consider documents. It is kind of abstract, gives you an abstract access to them. So it has methods that are like kind of give me data for some kind of like beginning of the editing, and then like I give you data and it saves it in whatever way possible. and or needed. So we do not have to handle URLs ourselves. It is a bit transparent for us from the Collabora Office point of view, and the NS document takes care of this. So like if it is in iCloud or like on whatever like remote location that macOS can handle, then it is transparent for us. Another addition that is very good for us is that this provides also document versioning. Unfortunately, this is not working too properly yet. I mean, the saving of the versions works well, but the recovery doesn't work that well, because then we need to implement some other things that allow you to preview the old versions conveniently. Currently, like, of course, if we enable this menu to to see the versions, you can easily get to a state where you have like tens or hundreds of documents open, because when you list the old versions, it opens new and new cool WSDs for that, which is not, or I mean, instances of document in cool WSD, which is not ideal. This NS document also provides us with the macOS menu with some default form with the open save, duplicate document, rename, and these things, which is very pleasant. So the document Swift in the source code extends this NS document and provides this functionality. So like as soon as we get the data from the NS document, so it means like after the user has used the open menu and input file dialog and has chosen something to open, we copy that to temporary location and let the cool WSD actually work on this temporary copy of the document. Then, whenever there is the command state changed of save, that means that the document was saved internally in cool WSD. We get the data from this temporary document and trigger the NS document saving, which is again transparent for us. Another file that is important here is the document controller, which handles the additional functionality that is needed for this document to work. So if you search like where the open file functionality, the behavior of the file dialog is, like this is in this document, in this Swift. Also, the backstage functionality, which is this like additional window that you can see either directly when you have a document open from the file tab in the notebook bar, or if you open the if you I'm sorry. So if you open this like if you open Collabora Office, then you can directly see the backstage in there in some like smaller form, which provides you the new document or like the button to actually open something from the disk or iCloud or anything. And also it contains the actual functionality to create new document, because currently it is not possible to use the document templates as the OTT or OTS or OPS, OPT files, which is not handled in by like cool WSD itself either. Instead, we have to copy something that we consider a template to some target location and then work from there. So this functionality is contained in this document controller as well. Does it make sense so far? Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay, cool. Just checking. So view controller is something that creates the actual web view. So like after you get the document from the NS document and you feed it with the col.WSD, then you need something that actually like triggers the view on the screen, and that is the responsibility of this view control.swift. So it creates the actual web view and sets up the communication between the col.WSD internals and the like whatever we need to do for macOS. So you will see like a large if there that reacts on various like types of the messages, like the printing, like the this command that the save has finished and these things, and forwards it like appropriately. Then we have window controller. Normally, this window controller wouldn't be necessary. Like we would be good enough with the default here. Unfortunately, like if we want to have some additional control over the macOS menu, like we want to show the state of the bold italics and these things in the menu, we have to override it. We have to like remember the state and show it accordingly, like whenever the menu opens. I think it still needs some work, because there are more things that could appear in the macOS menu for us, and in that case we would need some additions to this so that it does the right thing and shows the state for them and handles the functionality as well. And there is a backstage view controller that is very small, and the sole responsibility is to show the backstage in case you start the app, or when you want to like create a new document from there. And so it just sets up the window and its own web view. So it is a different web view than we use for the document editing, and handles the new doc and open messages, and like triggers the functionality that is needed according to that. Then I talked about a small Objective-C thing that is needed here. This is the cowrapper.mm, and there's not that much functionality in there, but it is a bit less readable, like from this point of view, because I think Objective-C is kind of like unintuitive for people who haven't seen it previously. So if you just read code from some random like C++ bit, I think Objective-C will be a bit surprising for you. It is not so that much with Swift. So like Swift is, I think, much more readable, like if you have never seen like what's going on in Swift. And so that is like why we use that for only minimum of things here, but they are really necessary, because you cannot start and tear down the col.WSD from Swift. You need to have a wrapper for this, because you call directly into C++. Then start of the fake WebSocket communication after the hello is sent, which is the like initial message that the document should be loaded, that the communication with the col.WSD should start, and that all this should like function. Then there is some save as functionality, which is needed for printing, because we do not print in some kind of like page by page way. We export the document as a whole to PDF, and then we trigger the macOS functionality of printing the PDF. And also there are some functions for clipboard handling, to read from clipboard and write to that. So during the development, of course, there were some things that I've learned. In general, I am very happy that we went ahead with this NS document. gives us lots of things for free. I talked about this menu, load safe, random places, file versioning. But the huge thing was the arrangement of windows. Like now we default to tabbed UI. So like when you open the next document, it opens in a separate tab. And with using the NS document here, it was just 2 lines of code. It just changed the default. Like when you open the new window, do not create new window from that, but group them all together, which is great. And I'm happy with the choice of doing most of the stuff in Swift. It's a modern language, pleasant to read, write. So I'm happy with these things. Of course, not everything was straightforward. The biggest challenge was the multiple document editing. First of all, I was hoping that I could make the col.la work in a way that it works normally on Linux, and actually I achieved that from the command line. But then when I tried to make an app from that, it was impossible, just because the sandboxing on macOS doesn't allow you to fork and like various things that you just need for the col.la functionality. Also, it turned out that it is not a good idea to try this for Windows as well. So like this was a dead end. And instead, I had to focus on like extending the uh, f- fake WebSocket in a way that we can pull like across the multiple document, and it all works. Another challenge was the lifecycle management of the entire thing. So make sure that the documents is saved when we exit the entire app or when the window is closed, using this red window button in the top left. And like it was crashing for a long time for me. Then luckily, like something was fixed by col.la there, and some other things I managed to fix. So we are like reasonably good, it seems. And like surprisingly challenging was like the initial showing of the backstage, and various corner cases, like when to close the entire app, when to show the backstage, when to not show the backstage. So in the end, I modeled it according to what the pages is doing. So like if you close all windows, the macOS menu for the still like stays at the top of the of your workspace. But as soon as you switch to another app, then this disappears and the app closes, which seems to be something reasonable for the user, and on the other hand, something that was uh, pleasantly possible implement or implementable with some like reasonable effort in the end, because otherwise like we would be swarmed with lots of checking if this and that window is there and whatnot, and like it was not pleasant. But I'm happy with the result in the end. So many thanks to other people who have contributed this. So Qualon has made the full screen presentation and presenter console and everything around this possible. Jeremy implemented the dark theme, the tabbed interface, added more file types, and did a lot of polish before the release. Andras has provided the possibility to localize the UI and various fixes regarding and related to build and work of the result, like resulting product here. And Tor and Michael have done other fixes, and also helped me with this fake WebSocket things. So that's it from me, I think. So I wonder if there are questions.
Of course. Wow. What great work, Andy. Thanks for that. It's really good. I had a couple of questions. Sorry to jump in. So one of them was around browser startup, or at least I don't know if we've done any profiling of start. My hope is always that we could get the browser up and something showing in a window before we've fully started up the LibreOffice core. I don't know if that's possible in terms of the threading model and that sort of thing, or
So it does the same thing as we do in the normal col.la, and that is showing this jumping Collabora logo before things start. I don't know, and I didn't check like if there's some additional gap before we actually show this. I'm not sure. But on the other hand, like we could definitely add something like more of the jumping there as soon as we show the window there. But that's it. I think the startup itself happens in a thread, so things should be responsive. So I think we should be able to feed the window with something in case like this proves to be a problem.
Yeah, I mean, I think what would be fantastic, and I don't think our startup performances, anyone's looked at it at all for online, well, as much as they ought to. But it would be lovely if we could detect the document type, or even do a quick and dirty detection, and then get the UI started up so that we have, notebook bar and stuff, and do the bouncing inside that. So more of that's done in parallel, if that makes sense. I think that would be possible, hopefully, and not too horrible.
I don't think it should be impossible. But again, like it's more of the JavaScript work here than like what for the macOS specific thing. My only responsibility in here would be like to make sure that that we load the cool.html like immediately.
Yeah.
And maybe also provide it with some additional hint, like okay, this is this or that document type.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't think like I can do much here other than this.
Sure. Cool. The other thing was sequential load. So we had these problems with sequential load and, the core running the main loop to update progress bars or something whilst, and sort of re-entering into that and then loading the next document. And I just have a wonder whether we are waiting like on Windows for one document to load before we've loaded the next one.
I didn't try this, and so from that point of view, it's like untested. So I don't know, like what does it do?
Fair enough. Okay. Yeah. I still think Linux isn't doing that either. I think we rely on my rather horrible fix. Yeah. Cool. Thanks, Kenny. Great stuff.
You're welcome.
Brilliant. Thanks, Kendi, and thank you, Michael, for kicking off the questions. Does anybody else have any comments or questions before I read my screen of who I see? No? Okay, then. So let's start with who I see on my screen. So I have to start.
Yeah. So maybe I will try to do like a very small demo of this, but I suppose I need to stop sharing this screen and see if I can see this and share the screen again.
Yeah, thank you. That would have been my question if a demo would be available.
Awesome.
So, can you see my screen?
Yes, looking good.
Yeah, I'm sorry it's in Czech. You will have to learn some Czech. So, like this is with some two documents open with these tabs in here. So some hello trivial document. Here is the tea time training. So if I touch this button, I get the like open like new document. So this is the backstage thing. It doesn't have the templates. but we have these like various document types, or we can touch open things. So I have something like here, very trivial document. Then the interaction is the same as for the other apps, like for the Linux or Windows one, that you have to touch the button so that the editing starts. You have the notebook bar as you are used to, so you can do the bold thing here. You can type. I don't know. You can do other things here. I haven't prepared any kind of demo, but you can switch easily to another tab. Here is the menu that I was talking about, which is provided by the NS document framework. So the new button functions the same way as this plus button for the tabs. So like we can return from that. We can trigger the open directly from here. We have the recent documents, closing window, saving, duplicating. So this is like interesting because like it creates a renamed document, and now you can name it. So like this was already renamed. Now this is copy of the renamed document, and we can rename it. We can move it to another location and things like that. We can print it. And so this is the generated PDF. You can see the previews of the pages. Change the printer settings, like whatever needed, as in the normal standard dialog. The other menus are reduced, because like we removed functionality that didn't work that well. And there's the functionality with Windows. So this is like we can like also these various tabs, like unconnect from here, do them here, but again, like we can merge them all again into just one window. And yeah, that's it for the kind of demo, I think. So maybe now if you can go through the questions.
Mhm.
Just to say that it's really beautiful on Mac.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Thanks, Kennedy, again, Kennedy, for that demo. I think that would answer a lot of questions. But does anyone have any questions or remarks before I start reading off my screen? No? Okay, so let's start. On first people I see are Noel, Andrash, Aaron, Attila, and Balash. Any questions or remarks?
No questions, thank you.
Thanks, Attila.
Nothing from me. Nice work, Candy.
Thanks, Noel. Thanks, Aaron. Next, I have Quaylon, Darshan, Gorke, and Joel. Any questions?
Questions for me?
Nothing really. Just I did some of the Swift stuff, and I have to say I found it remarkably awkward to format it the way it should be versus JavaScript and C++. I guess that's something you just got used to, or do you still find it difficult to switch modes when doing Swift versus the other languages?
So that's an interesting point of view. Maybe it is because like I worked a lot in Kotlin, like in the last, I don't know, 3 years or something, and then like the Swift is like conceptually close to Kotlin in like how do you create variables and these things. And also like I started long and many years ago in Pascal, and I worked in Pascal in many years. So again, like I think that makes it for me readable and and somehow like pleasant. But of course, probably it is kind of like thing of taste in the end. So I'm sorry if I somehow promoted Swift too much and didn't consider that that probably it is caused by my background as well. If it makes sense.
Sure. Just wondering.
Brilliant. Next on my screen, I have Justin, Pranam, Kartik, Mohit, and Michael Stahl. Any questions? Comments? No. Brilliant. Thanks for your comments. Next, we have Path, Richard, Sarpa, and Skylar. Any questions or remarks?
No particular questions. Just wanted to highlight the thing I put in chat earlier that we're also planning to write new code for iOS and Swift when we're doing that, because again, it's Objective C is a weird language if you're not used to it.
Brilliant. Thanks, Skylar. Any other comments before I read some more names? Okay.
Nothing from me, thanks.
Brilliant. Thank you. Next, I have Torsten, Vivek, Miklos. Any comments or questions?
Yes, so what will be one from my side. Kenny, since since you've been demoing things, how's the development experience? Suppose you're using Xcode, because this, of course, this web view thing is perhaps something that might make life a little bit more difficult, or maybe not. Maybe it's all great in Xcode.
So there are two things. So one thing is if you want to develop the JavaScript itself, and for that I would recommend just using something different. I've been using the code. How is it called? From Microsoft, this thing.
Visual Studio Code.
Visual Studio, yeah, Visual Studio Code, or VS Code, or this thing that you can just download, and like I think many people are using that. But other thing is debuggability, and I was very pleased with that. You just trigger the developer like menu entry in the Safari, and then like there is code in the in Collabora Office that allows debuggability in the debug builds, and then like whenever you open Collabora Office in your like debug build, then you see entry in the Safari's developer tab that you can directly connect to the web view, and you can use breakpoints. You can like inspect the DOM and everything. So from the debugging point of view, it is very pleasant. From the typing, I would recommend you using something different than Xcode, I think.
Is that something you could quickly show, or probably a bit more setup needed there? But I'm very curious.
So what do you want to see? So let me start Safari. Can you see it?
Yep.
So here's the develop, and here directly, like I can see, like now you can see that it became bluish. So behind the Safari, like there's the tab that like I would be checking. So let me just make it smaller. So again, develop, and so this is the one like related to that. It opens like everything here. You have the possibility to stop it, to step over, step into, like whatever you would expect from like normal debugging the experience on like in the web browser.
No, that's really neat. Yeah, very, very neat. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So
Great. Great. Thank you for that, for the extra. Thanks, Torsten. That's everybody on my list. Is there any extra comments or comments that anybody wants to make? Questions? Anything?
I would have one question. When you set up the LibreOffice core for VCR, do you use the macOS backend as the desktop LibreOffice does, or you go with these headless things so that you use Cairo and these things?
Yeah, no. So for this work, I needed to make the SVP backend functional. So there are some patches out there that like enable the SVP backend on macOS. It doesn't run of course, like it runs the Mac main loop. But other than that, it doesn't use any of these Cocoa and these things. It just renders tiles for us, and that's it.
Nice. So you get exactly the same backend as the Linux headless one, not something secondary. That's nice. Thanks.
And so, Kenny, when you say it runs the main loop, it's running the sort of wait for it goes into the Collabora Online code to do its polling, essentially. Is that right?
Yes.
Right. So, nice. Cairo rendering and shared code everywhere. Loving it.
Great. Lastly, any other questions or comments anybody would like to add? No? Okay then. Thank you everyone for attending today's Tea Time training, and thank you to Kendi for presenting, and we shall see you next week.
Great work, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.